Hello, I'm Eagle Gardens 1 on Instagram. And this is episode 811. Of course, as labeled, this one is a Weed Nerd World. Hopefully, you guys have had an amazing Monday, kicked your week off well. Looking forward to hanging out with a bunch of cool ass weekends this evening. Hopefully, the bountiful is incredible. Martial Artist 2012, much love to you, brother. Southern DT, Buddy Kilowatts. Ain't no cheers to you till the day I die. What's up, funny? Cheers to you. This angels do smiles. Big cheers. Oh, it's time to roll. Sometimes we are called. What's up, Magna? Cheers to you. Let's get high. What are you guys smoking on? Who will be the first into the Weed Nerd World? Six Gun Style. CJFO, you gonna be at fucking Gems and Genetics this weekend? Hopefully. So, my friend Martial Artist. Mr. Smiling Star. What up, Mr. Smiley? Oh, damn, why do I always have the wrong?
Gotta get the mic closer or something? What's up?
There we go. It's like never ending. It's like wrong one every time. I think I double check this shit by now. How's your day, man?
It's good, dude. It's Monday. Fucking getting shit done, and I'm about to smoke one and hang out, so it's good.
Man, we had another fucking weird day here.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Saturday was like this. Yesterday, not so much. Today, man, I don't know what's going on. It's like it wants to rain. The sun was hazed out. We had the other day, Saturday, we had a fucking wildfire going on up here, 3,600 acres. And that people from what I talked to up here said, man, this shit actually blocked out the sun up here. And it got so smoky. And when I came back that day, I noticed the same thing that I did today, man. Like it wanted to pour, you know what I mean? Or it just poured and now burning off with a thick haze. But yeah, it's super hazy up here today. And I can't help but wonder if maybe it flared back up or what the fuck's going on.
We had a touch of rain the other day. It was all hot and sunny out, and then all of a sudden it just
Can't hear you.
started raining.
I don't think it's my mic.
Can you hear me?
Oh, it is. Motherfucker. What the fuck?
Can you hear me now?
There we go. It just like randomly quit on me.
Yeah, we had rain the other day. It was like sunny. Looked down the one end of our street, and it was like sunny, and then it was just raining right over us, basically. It's kind of cool.
We ain't got no rain. Man, do we need the rain.
Yeah, it's been dry.
What you smoking on tonight?
I got GG4 I was going to roll up. Or I did roll up. So good. Still one of my favorites. Like Buddy and his cookies. His Girl Scout cookies forum cut. I'm just going to hang on to it, man. I like smoking it, and it's my head stash now, so I'm my number one customer. So I get the biggest vote.
There you go. Kind of funny.
I know it is funny, but I mean, what do you think about that, dude? Like, you had some good ones. Like, I don't know, you give me 6 good flavors. You know what I mean? Like, I'm good with that. Like, that's enough variety. 6, maybe 8. You know what I mean? You got a little color palette there. You can flip between, and I don't know.
Yeah, that's plenty for if you're just kind of smoking for yourself, you know. Anything, you know. It's nice to have like a daytime and nighttime. You know what I mean? But other than that, to be able to just, you know, switch every couple of days to keep that tolerance from that strain down a little bit, you know what I mean? Keep it good. It's nice.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, you know, a library of 20 something strains is always nice, but it's not necessary. You know?
I mean, a lot of them get to be alike anyway, you know. Like, you kind of funnel it down.
Right.
But I like to. So my grinder, I got that big grinder or whatever, but it'll roll like if I fill it and grind like all of it or whatever. So it'll roll four and a half, some you know what I mean, type joints. So I can roll 4 and have a little left over or whatever. And so that's how I usually do it. I'll pull enough out, roll 4 of them, and then when it's time to go back and roll 4 more, I just grab a different one or whatever to mix it up. You know what I mean?
Well, one thing I do like about that, chat threw me out there. The little bit of the mixture there is the little bit of salad there.
Yeah, and then at the end you mix your salad joint where you got the little half joint of each one so that you're done. And that works
I've
out.
definitely been that guy though that kind of has like separated piles in the past.
Oh, you do? I don't.
I have in the past. 100%. Yeah.
Did you
These
rebag
days, not
it?
so
Were
much.
you like rebagging the ground up? This is
Oh, I've been there. Oh, I've definitely been there.
that's funny.
That's funny you say that. Yeah, I've
Definitely been there.
definitely.
That was back in the day, dude.
That's dispo days right there when you don't want to mix the flavors. You're like, shit, that one right there, all back in the little tube there. Yeah. Mix it. Buy that shit by the gram, man. I don't want to fucking mix that shit. You don't mix by the gram. You only mix when it comes by the jar.
I only really started hitting the dispos just out of curiosity, like I don't know, just to see what was what. Then they always had all the like pens and shit like that, so they had all the shit you wouldn't find. You know what I mean? Like,
Man, I am so glad weather is finally broke. Love it.
cooling down for you guys, man?
Huh?
Cooling down or like staying warm? What are you talking about?
Well, just it ain't winter. Fuck.
It ain't
I mean, well, I mean, well, shit, man. It's been fucking last few nights. It's been in the 40s here. Fuck, man. Fucking 46, 47. There was even one night last week it dipped down to fucking 42.
a little
Like,
nifty.
yeah, I like to heat up during the day, though. Super nice.
Yeah, we've had our last few nights been pretty cool. We have the AC off, and but I got an attic fan. Yeah, I don't know if you ever the attic fan rocks, dude. That shit kicks ass. It gets cooler at night like that. We got the windows open and fucking just crank that on in about 5-10 minutes. You're like, all right, it's good in here.
Especially if you got that real cool basement and you can leave that door open and you can suck the air out of that basement in fucking just a few minutes. But with that attic fan, just like air conditioning, bringing all that cold air up out of the basement and shit.
Yeah, you gotta have a window open to the basement though to get the airflow, right? So,
It'll naturally kind of draw it from, suck it through. So yeah, I'm smoking, well, a bit of a salad right now myself as we were talking about salads. Bad, not a bad one. That time it just threw me off. I was literally going, damn it, here we go again. I was getting ready to do a fucking speaker check and shit.
no, I had to mute. My fiance just came in the room making all kinds of noise. So.
Tell her I said hello.
I will. She just heard you anyway.
Right.
Yeah. I'm gonna smoke, man. Yeah, are you going to the gems? We already talked about it, I feel like.
Yeah, I'm a judge.
Right. He's a judge.
Oh man, I'm going.
Jessica said she's gonna go without me, so
Nice. Should be a good one. You'll be missed.
I know. It's a fucking work thing. I should skip out on it. Like, oh.
Should be fun. Yeah, I gotta go down Thursday and pick up my samples. I don't even know what the fuck I'm judging yet. What category? Hopefully it ain't edibles. My luck, it'd be edibles. Oh man, it'd be like a mouthful of just fucking sugar. I never even thought of that. That could happen. Hopefully I'm not edibles. Be all tore up and hallucinating from eating edibles. Large amount of edibles and shit.
Yeah, I couldn't do the judging for any like the edible shit. I don't eat them a lot, you know. If I do, it's just because I want to pass the fuck out. That's pretty much all the effect is on me. Like anything over 50 milligrams, I'm gonna pass the fuck out.
Yeah, that's kind of just it, though. I mean, it's something like in that kind of category, there should be a good amount of time. Even myself, I don't really believe in most cases, and High Times gave me like 2 weeks to go through like 50 samples. And that was like pushing it. You know what I mean? That was more than I wanted to do in fucking per day, but a lot of times it's even quicker than that. So I don't think you can accurately judge a strain, to be honest with you, when you're trying to go power through them like that. Taste, and effect, you can't effect, taste and appearance, smell.
Ganja Ghost thinks you're getting the suppository judging kit.
Damn it, I'm not even paying attention. Of course she thinks that.
That's awesome.
What a shitty category that would be.
It's an easy application, man. That one gets a 5.
Just depleted. Just literally depleted. Please no more. That would be horrible to do to somebody. That would be horrible. I like Bingus's new icon there. Cheers, Brent Anderson. Oh, Aussie Outdoors. Cheers to you. Judging by size. You don't judge by size in fucking the expository category. There should be some penalties for that in that category. That ain't even.
Is that even a category? That'd be funny, man. I don't even think that would. Anybody want a cup for a suppository they made?
You never know. You never know. It's a thing. It's a thing. Why shouldn't there be a category? I'd hate to be the head judge, but damn.
It's not bad. You just grab your knees and spell run. That is pause like that hang like right there. Oh shit.
That's cracking me up.
This GG4 is fucking killer.
It's awesome. You still find it good after all those years, man. It is a good strain, though. It has stood the test of time. I'll give that one that.
Yeah, I got some I'm saving on it. Hopefully hook up and smoke some. I got some GG4, I got some Skywalker OG, the Ghost OG, and the Death Star. So it's my senior citizen pack.
Senior citizen pack. That's funny. They're all good ones, though. Man, just think about that's kind of what you're saying, though. The fucking senior citizens home isn't ready for our generation. The models that are in place now are not ready for our generation. The dabbing grandpa generation and shit. That's got to be a terrible insurance liability on the senior homes and shit. Oh, they can't be dabbing and shit. Fucking. You're seeing this is a no smoking center here, sir. Do you think there'll be a square where they get together like the old high school, the square inside, like the building where the seniors will be able to go and smoke and shit like that?
Like a courtyard, like a center courtyard in the building?
Yeah.
Not a chance.
Bunch of benches and shit. They all just be out there fucking smoking and shit. Doing that.
What do you think, Bingus?
I try not to, but it sounds interesting. It sounds interesting. How you guys doing?
Pretty good. How you doing?
Good. I wrote in the chat room, I have my one raspberry crossed with Spartacus almost ready for harvest. It looks just identical to a raspberry, maybe a little larger buds, but it smells like just rancid cheese. And I'm like, I don't know. I've never had that kind of a smell before, so we'll see. There's a lot of cheese in the double white cheese, obviously. So we'll see.
Oh Lord. Do you think that's when the fucking suppositories will be coming into play as a cruel joke in our senior years? That's the only way we'll be able to enjoy cannabis is fucking through suppositories and shit.
Is that, well, it is one way to ingest or absorb, I guess would be a better way to put it. Suppository. Wow.
It's a thing, Dingus. It's a thing.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
If I remember correctly, that indeed is the way that Tommy Chong beat his cancer.
Well, in that regard, yeah. We had a big loss in the community recently with partly cloudy 420. I don't know if you guys heard about him. He had pancreatic cancer and he died a couple days ago. And it's weird because there's a lot of people I know in my own personal network, which is not very large, that are dying. And I was talking to my post office person. She's a lady, and she's delivering the mail. And I got the news. She goes, "Yeah, I have 450 people on my route, and it's normal for every year, maybe one or two people die, right?" And she goes, "I've had 20 people die this year." I go, "Whoa, really?" She goes, "Yeah, it's concerning." I go, "Fuck yeah, it is." So it's interesting. Crazy. Greetings, chat. Weed Nerd World. How are you? Thanks for going early. Appreciate it.
It's a Monday thing.
It's a Monday thing. Okay,
It's a
gotcha.
Monday thing.
Gotcha. I don't know what fucking day it is. Shit.
I tend to blur them myself these days, but it's
It's getting bad for me, buddy. It's getting bad. I mean, because I miss shit. Like where I'm supposed to be on a certain day. Like, oh shit. I don't know. It's crazy. But
At
yeah.
least you can blame it on your age, though. At this point,
Yes. I've been taking, actually had to
have you gotten to that point where you? Because at one point I was literally looking forward to that kind of shit. Just like I'm old.
I try not to use it, although it's evident at time. I think I take a full 1,000 milligrams of my CBD oil, and on an empty stomach, and the fact that I've kind of slimmed down a little bit, it kind of creeps into the situation where it didn't before. The other day, yesterday, I was feeling pretty good. I was driving to the delivery point, and I'm like, dude, I feel great, man. And I'm thinking, wow, is that CBD capsule? I haven't felt it in a while. And so I finally get there. I do my thing. I come back home, park in the driveway. I just get out of my car with it running and the keys in it. I start walking to the house. My son's outside. He goes, "What are you doing?" I go, he goes, "The car's running." I'm like, fuck. I go, "I gotta be high on the CBD capsule, man." So I think that plays a large role in my absence with time and space. I had a tolerance, I thought, but maybe I'm just getting more efficient in my bodily mass. So I had to back off a little bit. My next round are only 3/4 full now, instead of a full. Squeeze as much as you can in a capsule and barely get them shut. Anyway.
You smoked that this evening. Did you tell us already?
Huh?
What you smoked now?
Yeah, blame it on the CBD. Yeah. Does play a part.
My audio went a little crazy again.
So you're pulling down the Rascal by Spartacus.
I'm doing what?
You said in chat. You said you were pulling down the Raspberry by Spartacus.
Yep, next couple days. I hit it again to get an F2 version, and the seeds aren't quite ready, so I'm kind of just go a little longer than normal to see if I can get some, at least a couple ripe beans to play with.
Nice.
I didn't quite get it early enough when I was spreading the pollen out there. But yeah, and then I'll be shutting it down until I get back. I'm leaving on the 17th, so I'll be gone a week. And I'll hopefully be back right at it. I got all kinds of stuff lined up I want to do. I've just been holding off. So I want to run more of those seeds, the raspberry cross with Spartacus. Okay, question for you guys. What comes first, the male or the female when you're listing a strain? Like, is
The
it
females first. The males always last.
sorry? Okay. I always thought because the female or the male entered that he was first, but maybe I guess I got that wrong.
I'm sure people have done it different ways, but when I was looking into it, that's the kind of traditional way I found was the male listed last.
Kind of like in life, I guess. Just last.
Yeah, so like your Raspberries by Spartacus would be the right way to.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay. I always have it backwards. Typical. Yeah.
At least that's how I list them anyway. So.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm just curious. I always rack my brain for some kind of name because saying that it's raspberry Spartacus, you know, gets kind of confusing at times. I have to remember which male was used, and you know, it's like just name it. If it's worthy, that's the other thing, dude. I've never smelled such rancid cheese smell in my life. I was like, oh, what the hell? So, but I've never smoked the cheese, so maybe it'll be kind of a cheesy treat. Who knows?
Yeah. Now I'm curious to see how the Raspberry like terp profile passes along. But I
Yeah.
actually got more seeds of that. I'm gonna try to run here soon because they're old seeds. But I found a buddy of mine had a pack and knew about me liking the Raspberry, so I bought it. He let me buy it off of him. So I got a whole pack. I don't know if they'll pop because I think it's a pretty old strain now.
Yeah. I have some seeds that are older that I'm holding off on until I get back. Got to hold with some more of the Face Off OG. First try was not very good. As far as the seeds go, I was not impressed, to be honest. So I got several. I can't remember them all. Got too many. So
It happens fast, man. It happens fast.
I stopped buying, of course, but I get people give them to me and stuff. And I got Chad Westport's grapefruit or grape juice. Got a couple nice looking phenos in veg that'll be going in eventually. And a couple Northern Lights, supposedly originals from my buddy Mike. People were begging me more for the FNA, so I got another nice pheno of that running. Dude, it's just it's never ending, guys. You know, if I had that big barn that Smiley had, I'd probably end up needing 3 of them. You know, if I really went wild, you know what I mean? You just can't stop. I mean, it's almost like an addiction.
Like popping them or breeding them?
Yeah, just the pheno hunt. I just am addicted to like, oh God, let's see. I just get all jacked up. Like, all right. And then
oh boy, what's it gonna be?
yeah, and then it takes so fucking long. So then I end up popping more. And then so I got like waves of them coming in. I'm like, oh shit, then you wonder, what did I just do to myself? And that's the fun of it, I guess. Yeah, my grandson is supposed to be born here any day now, so I'm hoping he gets
Congrats.
before I head off to South America. We'll see.
Awesome, man. Oh,
Yeah, it's Samuel. His mother is Hispanic and his father is half Japanese, female first, half Japanese. Should be an interesting mix.
yeah, no shit.
We'll see. Cap 420, what's up?
Man, sitting outside enjoying the rain, gonna roll a joint here. As soon as I find a pair of scissors and a grinder, the only thing I didn't bring out. How's everyone doing tonight?
Fabulous.
Wow. Doing well.
I think this is our first full day of rain here so far.
Monsoons begin.
Yes.
See, back home.
Let the sativas grow.
They're rolling in. Rex is right behind you.
That's cool about the grandson, though. I'm excited for him. Mine was just over tonight, and he's quite something, man. He's 3.5 now, so he's totally like getting around doing whatever he wants, and you know what I mean? Yeah. He decided he was going to give us a hug tonight, so I got a hug, and Mimi got a hug. So I like that. It always makes the day better. But sometimes he'll just be like, "No, I don't want a hug tonight, Papa." I'm like, all right, buddy, we'll see you next time, man. Or something. But
I've been spending Saturdays over there, kind of with the family get every Saturday. So I was talking to him. Doing okay in there? I got my catcher's mitt on, buddy. Come on. Trying to get him to hurry up a little bit. But yeah, it'll be a first for me.
That looks like it should be like one of those satisfaction videos. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Here we go.
What you got there, Captain? What was that?
As you can see, there's a difference in about that far down. But the majority of this is gasoline. I was able at Gems and Genetics to pick up a really good deal on some of that.
Well, be careful of that cigarette. Be careful of that cigarette, buddy. I mean, you're right by gasoline like that. You can proof in a minute.
Everybody around town seems to like it because I couldn't fit the amount that I had purchased in this, but the littler amounts that I had opened before, people seem to enjoy. They also seem to enjoy the freshness and how well it was dried and cured. And I said, yeah, 2 weeks at 60/60 does wonders.
It is important. Almost the most important aspect.
Oh, it is. I mean, you can spend 90 days growing something and have it look totally fabulous and smelling awesome. And in 36 hours have hay.
And bird we're staring at there, Rez.
What's it? It's a hummingbird.
A big old hummingbird.
That's
It
the
can't be
baby.
no humming.
Yeah, it's a
How
hummingbird.
far
Here-
away is it? It seems big for a hummingbird. Hummingbirds usually seem like tiny.
It's
tiny.
20. Let's see. It's probably 15 foot above my head.
Closer than I thought.
I got pictures of it in the nest. It was right over. It was right over here in the nest. I watched it fly out the first time. I watched it get its first practice takeoff. It was pretty wild. First time I've ever seen it. I was like, did that just happen? Did that happen right in front of my face? What the hell? How's everybody
Damn.
doing?
Good. How you doing, Russ?
Good. Yeah, it's a wild bird, right? Chirp, 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 chirp.
Oh,
I think that's the baby. I don't know if that's the mom or the dad or the baby.
we got a whole family in my backyard as well. We got feeders out everywhere. They just fly up and almost land on your person. I mean, especially if you're bringing out food where they haven't had any for a while, they just swarm.
Yeah, I've had one up my nose, Dingus.
Go look,
Huh?
doing the tickle, looking for food.
1994, the night before I went and did 8 months in jail, I was sitting out looking at a mountain, listening to the Allman Brothers greatest hits, and come flying by, and all of a sudden I was like, "What the world was that?" About hit me. I mean, all of a sudden it came back and put its thing right up my nose, and then I was like, "What in the hell just happened there, man?" Because it tickled the hairs inside my nose. Yeah,
He's looking for sweet.
these things will fly right by you, man. They never hit you, man. I mean, even that baby come landing behind me on the steps the next day, and then for the next 2 or 3 days they stayed around that one tree where it was born, and the mom just taught it every all kinds of dive bombing and fight and all kinds of, it's just, I was like, wow, I've never watched a bird grow up. I mean, except a chicken maybe, or a duck.
Yeah. They're cool.
Never a bird, a wild bird, you know what I'm saying?
I have a crow that hangs out too. I call him Chet. Has a little Chet, like, then he does this, but he hangs out too.
We got a bunch of them come through here. They like to eat the other birds' eggs.
Yeah, they're scavenger little buggers.
We have a dumbass set of robins that makes a nest in our backyard every time just to have their babies try to fly and hit the ground and get eaten by our dogs.
Nice.
Whoops.
Yeah.
I got a
And
video.
then she'll sit there and squawk at us for days, and we're like,
Just
you
watch it.
built the nest there.
I stood there and watched and took a picture and took a video of it, of the dove, a male and female dove, or family doves watching over that baby hummingbird in that tree when the mom left, watching over it. And when I came close, the first dove was like the decoy, you send the decoy. I took off flying and made themselves real loud. And then the other one was right there still watching. The next one closer down to the nest. I was like, check this out. These birds working together out here. This is wild. Yeah, man, the birds are cool. There's some weed. There's just playing around some seeds. 100% germination. That's a transplant right there to that big one. And then the other ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or just 5 I tested from the ones I made last year that I got this time last year. Those F4s. Or whatever you want to call them at that cross, right? To get somebody's F3s and pick a male out of them or take a male. This was by accident, right? It was my favorite female in the room until it turned into a male.
Sounds like a country song.
It sounds like a nightmare.
Should have reversed that male and made real seeds.
Man, I want to keep everything natural. Should have, could I should have at least kept my both males I used. Both males I had were good males, meaning they didn't ruin the females. A lot of times, the females overpower. A bunch of them phenos, a half or a third or whatever. Did I kill that one down there? I might have killed that one. Always end up some like the male, some like the father, some like the mother. Right. I guess at some point where you're getting down in there and breaking those down, I guess it's all more like the male, or all more like the mother at some point, maybe. I've never taken one that far yet. This stuff I'm just playing around with. I had a bunch here already that size, and I ate them.
Yeah, F3 male I used from Sky Color Kush. F3, that one from Freeborn Selections definitely carried a lot of dominant traits as far as like structure went and certain bud types.
Yeah.
The terp profile was the different mix. You could have some that were more leaning towards the mom, and there's others that kind of lean more towards the Sky Color. But it was pretty well across the board. The plant structure, that was pretty amazing to see.
Yeah. Well, I used that. That was that Salmon River male that first time, right? To that moose and lobster from him. And he'd never bred with any of the Salmon Rivers. And I just picked the one that I just watched them for a while and chose between that and the moose and lobster, whether I was going to go with the moose and lobster. And I went with that. And I'll tell you what, man, there's none of those that I found that are bad. I mean, there's nothing. And that's a blessing, right? She can sell me something where I can agree with it and I can get something good out of it.
Yeah, I'm talking about like across 4 different moms having phenos that all look like they're the same cut. You know what I mean? Like
somewhere
next
somewhere
to
like
each other, they're like the same one. You think, or whatever.
that's how that moose and lobster is, right? Of his that moose and lobster sorry, ends with an A. Is they all pretty much look the same. A couple of them will lean more towards a hash type of bud structure, so and real heavy and big. I mean, serious weight in those buds. I mean, that's just a different type of weed. I never grew that growing up. Never got any good buds like that, or interesting buds like that. Yeah, I like that. Right, when you get that structure, when you keep it in and it stays. You're like, okay, that seed right there, that's going to carry it over. Some carry the mom, some carry the dad, right?
Yes. Some seeds will carry more of the mother and some will carry more of the father.
So you're trying to get a happy medium from whatever you found the first time. That's the way I look at it. I'm hoping to get some interesting stuff in there, but if I liked both of them, the male and the female, then I would, that's why I say anybody ever wants to grow that. That's a strain. You're going to go 70 days minimum. But that moose and lobster, that's especially for people who have sciatic problems and stuff.
Oh, I'm fighting that now.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've actually sat outside since Thursday. I bent down to wash the back of my calf, and that's all it was. I've been on the couch ever since.
Don't you got plants going out there, Captain?
Yeah, but there's someone at the greenhouse taking care of them. Making sure that the automatic watering comes on. So I can miss time out there.
We used to call them in the building industry, we used to call that a Cadillac contract.
Yeah.
He'd take it easy in the Cadillac and let somebody else. Over, put that to the right. Okay, that's a good thing.
Well, come on, guys. Really, we've all been doing this for quite A hot minute. We haven't just been doing this for a year or two, okay? You don't have to look at your plants every day.
Just take it. Good. Finally.
You don't.
Yeah,
No,
I don't know,
you're right.
I still like looking at them every day.
You can be a
You're-
cat.
Oh, yeah. You know, but I pop my head into the rooms and it's like, okay, everything looks fine today. I'll see you tomorrow when watering day is.
There you go. Or you put it in the right place.
No.
You may never have to order it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Do that.
But the watering system in the greenhouse is running properly now. I got him to finally put in another filter for the other side instead of just trying to run a dual-sided greenhouse off of one line. So everything's good. I've got all the leaks stopped. So when you turn off the water system, it actually pressures down. So now we can just get him out of this $1,000,000 hole he's dug himself into. Because he has like 10 plants flowering at one time. And I'm like, why isn't one whole side flowering?
That's nasty.
Oh, but I sell it soon as it dries. Yeah, but you don't have enough to sell to pay back mom.
What you smoking on, Raz? What you got in that thing?
Oh man, it's a mixture. I didn't ask for this. I asked for the sauce. This was a freebie or an add-on for like a penny or something like that, 99 cents. 5 of these minis, which are like 0.65 of a gram. West Coast Cure. It's keef, flour, and terpenes. So, and I tell you, it gets to a point, that same point on every one of them, and it goes, oh crap! Okay, now I'm gonna cough. But they're not bad.
There.
Guess what? It's better than the bag weed that came from that place. Bud mentioned where he got all those clones over in Atalanto. It's Atalanto, Bud, which is like 12 miles from me. 12 miles from me, something like that. 14 miles. But yeah, but it's shit. Well, for some people it's okay, but as soon as I opened the bag, I split it with a buddy of mine, and I didn't open it until we split it so he could smoke it before he took it, because I ate it. And if I didn't like it, you know what I mean? If I opened it beforehand and I didn't like it, I wouldn't even let him have it.
I think that's going to be the gig now, is just adding on terpenes to shit, you know? Like, oh, we can make it this and pop it in a bag and sell it like that. You know,
Well,
that's the gig.
You're
But here in
right.
Thailand,
You're right. That's the way the fucking big guys, the tobacco guys, are gonna approach it. They're gonna fucking be growing those autos. They're gonna be grinding them up, and just like you're talking about, this pack will be OG Kush, all fucking terpene derived and shit. They're just gonna mix it all together until they've got their recipe that they all taste the same. So
That's what they already got
consistency.
menthol, so we're good there. You know?
Well, don't try to sell his shit to a farmer, because as soon as he opens the bag or gets close to it, he'd be like, "That smells like hay. I didn't cure right." And why does it taste like hay?
Well, a lot of them are making these flavored fucking wraps and shit that are out too. Like, you know what I mean? So they're already in a way kind of messing with that, to where it's like.
Well, here's the problem.
Terpenes.
They're getting it close, but the temperature changes from their production to the next storage, and the transportation in between, and then the transportation in that truck, in that car, on that hour and a half delivery to me, wherever however long he has it in his car. For me, might be short for me from where he's at. I don't know, but he what doesn't matter. He's riding around in 80 degrees, And right on the back of the package, it says for the one package, don't go over 75 degrees. You know? So those changes, it makes a big change in something that was, you thought was really good weed. Something you thought, you know, right? You thought, but you didn't, the handling ruined it. So
When I was at Gem and Genetics in Michigan, I opened up a couple jars of rosin, and they were telling me the names, and I'm opening them up, and I had to ask them if they actually added terpenes, and they said, yeah, we do.
well, I asked for sauce. I don't normally do any of that stuff, but they sent me that instead. And
Yeah, I
gummies.
don't even know what sauce is. What is sauce, by the way, guys? I'm stupid.
Live resin.
No, that's the terpenes.
Just the terpenes.
Well, they do diamonds and sauce, so they like it's a separation. When it makes the diamond, it's the THC crystals all forming together. Is my basic understanding of it.
Well, this was live resin. They're supposed to give me a gram of live resin.
And that part that's left over is like there's like a gooey part left over. It's like the terpenes, and that's the diamonds and sauce.
Okay.
And see,
so it's a byproduct of making diamonds.
Yeah, and there's like a process to it. I don't know the steps, but it's something like heat it up, cool it down, something back and forth, and it makes this. It causes all the THC to crystallize and form one, a diamond, basically.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Well, this one here
is the terpene. Because that'll do that too. They'll separate them too, or they chill it and then set it at room temperature and it help them separate. It's like a saucy layer on the top of the jar, or the ashes or whatever the resin.
So that happens with a jar if I happen to have one and it sits for a while and it starts to separate. Just kind of heat it up a little bit and mix it all back together then.
That's not on yet.
Yeah, there's processes you can look up, like whipping it and then
Okay, I was just asking.
Yep, but that's just the result of people fucking around, really, I think. But also,
because over the next couple months, it all turns to goo here anyways.
Yeah.
I mean, you can take something out of the freezer that, is nice and chunky. And by the time you get into town 3-4 kilometers away and you go to put it on a bowl or whatever, and it's just this glob because it's, 100 degrees outside.
Yeah, you definitely got to watch the temperature control. Like you see the real dab guys will have like a cooler and shit like that. They're carrying their shit around, and I've seen like a little plug-in little mini fridge too for it. They're definitely keeping that shit cool is the way to go. It's the same with weed too, though. I think with the flower, I think it's the same. You don't want that 100, you know what I mean? You don't want that sitting in a car and shit like that.
No.
You wanted a nice even temperature, like you'd keep a bottle of wine at or something.
Don't do drugs. Smoke cannabis. Don't do drugs. Where was that movie in? What was that line in Don't Do Drugs? Now that you can say that before he jumped off the roof. Almost famous.
Okay.
Almost famous. Is that the party? Remember that movie? Almost Famous. The band's it. He leaves the band and he goes to that party in Ohio. Is it Ohio or Kansas or somewhere like that? Kansas. Don't do drugs. And then jumps off the roof.
How's everybody doing?
Marvelous.
Well, what's up?
Eagle? Angus?
Doing
Smiley?
great. Just enjoying getting up here at an earlier time on Mondays. I'm gonna make the
Yeah,
calendar. It's good. Cheers, cheers, Eagle.
You're heading to South America, right?
Yes, sir. I'll be leaving on the 17th. I'll come back on the 26th.
But you're going
If you come back, man, you're gonna be wanting to stay down there.
What's
You're
winter?
Yeah.
like, I don't know. I might just stay down here. I can grow it outside.
You're going into wintertime.
All my doctors are going to be there. I'm going to visit a dentist to get a preliminary program for what I need to do on my teeth. I got a few implants that need to be done that cost a lot of money here. And it's 50% off in South America. So you can head on down, even with a first class selection in your airfare, and end up saving money.
welcome to Thailand.
Yeah, that's dude.
That's just it. Yeah, you're being like a paradise too down there. I bet it's beautiful.
It's we'll see.
Wintertime, right? They're going into wintertime down there.
No, I think it's average degrees 80 in Medellin, Medellin, I think they call it.
Okay. Columbia? You going to Columbia?
Yeah, Columbia, South
Yeah.
America. You're in kind of
Oh, okay. Well, never mind. You're further north. You're
For
on the equator, man.
$2 a gram, you can take care of the pain.
dude,
You're
even
going
my
to China.
my dentist only works on Americans. In other words, she told me in a face-to-face conversation on WhatsApp, and she says, "Yeah, we'll put you up in the 5-star hotel near our facility." I'm like, "Really?" And that's what BioAccelerator does too. They put you up in a 5-star facility right next to their situation. So I mean, dude, the Americans are fueling South America. And they're leaving America in droves. That's why it took me so long to get my passport. So, and look at Captain. I mean, he's kind of waving at us from across the pond there, you know. So,
But when I was home, my passport was filled up. I had trouble kind of leaving Cambodia to come back into Thailand to grab all my stuff to fly back out. But when I was home, I had to go and spend the morning in Detroit, the day in Detroit to get a new passport.
it was a pain. I screwed mine up to begin with. I take full responsibility, right? But dude, it took a year and a half with my screw up and then waiting on
Wow.
doing it right. And but in the meantime, they've upgraded their gear in at BioAccelerator. They got an MRI machine in there now, where I was going to have to visit a hospital down there and then go, but they can do everything right on site now. So they're obviously making millions of bucks off mostly UFC fighters, I think, because that's all the videos I see is these guys go down there in between bouts and they get all rejuvenated and come back and do it again, which I kind of wonder about that. It's probably not the best thing to be doing. I don't know.
Yeah, could you imagine, man? That's getting beat up like them guys do. I mean, even when they win, they're still taking hard hits. You know, and it's like
Count on it.
a brutal game. You
You're gonna get hurt, but we're gonna give you $1 million. All right.
know. Yeah.
How hurt can I not get?
Yeah, over time you get punch drunk. Look at
Yeah, I
Muhammad
mean,
Ali.
Yeah, I mean, at a certain level, every one of them guys is getting smashed in the head a bunch of times, and like,
Getting big old.
you know, it's a brutal. Yeah, it's brutal.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, me too.
I'll go
Man,
in.
it's really starting to rain.
This is better than their herb. Their herb tastes like shit.
And that's what you usually get out of the pre-rolls anyway.
What's that?
Shitty tasting herb.
I think all growers that are worth their salt should be outside of dispensaries handing out their cards.
This bag here, I'm not gonna show their name. Maybe they're just having a bad day. They're in that facility. This is called London Joey. It'll get you high, and it tastes nasty.
Is there a date on it?
Yeah, it's fresh.
That makes it a little worse. I was for just hoping sake. Maybe it was past date or some shit.
That was this month. It was May 3rd was the harvest date.
Right.
It just has that smell, man. It's like it's just it smells, but it's all, man. It's just like chemicals. It reminds.
Don't you guys think there should be brand representatives for that shit that runs around and that checks on their product? This region can't be that wide to where they can't go, okay, we deal with these dispos, you know what I mean? I want an agent to stop in and fucking randomly pull my pack off the shelf and check it.
Yeah.
See what you guys think. Take one, pull it out, fucking smell it.
I'll tell you
Fucking
what, we'll
smoke
do a lot.
one. If it ain't no good, you pull that shit off the shelf and fucking restock it right then and there. Fucking
I want to go to
questions
this
asked.
place. I didn't know that. I'm having Bud jumps on. I wanted to ask Bud if I can just go over there, because I would put a couple more clones even with no rooting, just putting in the pots and throwing it. I would put them through a net or some kind, just to fill the tent up, right? Just for this one, I'm getting ready to flip. But I would go over and back over. I would stop over to this place. It's at that facility in Adelanto. It's at that in the high desert. I would be like, "What's up with this shit? Who's your guy letting this go through? How are you letting this go out of the store? This isn't even a good bag of Mexican weed, right? That shit was still good to me years ago when it got to me. This, you done ruined this by May 3rd. What the fuck's going on?" You want to go out of business, man? You want to get more business? Stop this shit, whatever you're doing. Whoever did this, because you'd smell it, man. You'd be like, "Oh, it has that more alfalfa than Timothy." You know what I mean?
That's see, but that one experience, just that one experience. You seen that brand again? Would you buy it again from this thing?
Nope. No.
See?
Too many
It'd
other
be so much worth it to have somebody quality control on that. Protecting your fucking brand. That's what it's about, is protecting the brand, but once you've lost that customer, it's tough to get you back, man. You probably offer you another bag half price and you'd be like, man, last time it sucked.
I think they probably have 500 different names of their company they run through, and they just keep changing the bag, even when they've been this, and they just hoping to sell so many of them off.
I was gonna say, McDonald's don't
This is-
sell the best hamburger.
This is like $60 a
They
half
sell the fuck out of them, but they don't.
on the legal market in California.
But there's still a standard all them motherfuckers gotta taste like, though. Shitty as they are, man, that quality, that standard of taste is there. There's 100%. Yeah, you lay out the patty like this, you squirt this on that motherfucker, you put it in this order. Yeah, I believe that.
I think there's some weed getting grown that just should never be a passed on cultivar. It wouldn't have made it in the outlaw days because it wouldn't have been good enough by the time where it was going. Right? It was a plant. Somebody picked that pheno, and you need to get rid of that one. And then you need to figure out who decided to pull it out of the dry room and who was feeding it the last week.
I'm just saying, like, if you go and you get a nice sit down restaurant, you get a burger, they present it, It's on a bun, you know what I mean? A little spike in there, something on it. Whatever. They make it presentable because it's something that you want to look at. Like a McDonald's burger, you don't look at it, you just gotta eat it, scarf and barf, you know what I mean? Like that's all that is. Like it's gonna be the same. There's gonna be that shit that's just, you know, that's your $50 ounces and shit or whatever. Like, but people will get tired of it, I would imagine, but I don't know. You know,
$50 ounces.
never get tired of McDonald's, right? Like, still number one. You know?
I think a lot of people get stuck at $50 ounces.
$50 ounce. Yeah, it was a lot cheaper than that in California. Might still be in some place. I think it's going back up though. I think the market's going back up.
Because
right before, thing I think is, it's like Eagle said, is you're going to wind up with just, you got these top 10 names, like, oh, we got, you know, cookie cakes, and we got, you know, burger burgers, and we got this one and that one, and it's all the same names because everybody's trying to keep up with the Joneses. So also now, bam, I mean, these 12 took over the whole fucking thing. That's all you can find. You know?
If I knew you took something like this and walked it through a distillation process to put it in this form, however you do it, that seems ecologically well, and it's also safe for the human, where it's just been distilled down, I'd prefer to have this over what I'm getting. Other than that, I'd rather have my own. I'm almost at the point ready to just start eating that plant, see if I can just do as well eating it without smoking it.
Yeah, Heinz is very specific about what tomato they are grown for.
Oh, yeah.
For. And like same with like McDonald's and their potatoes, they gotta have a certain potato for the French fries and shit like that.
They grow that one. They grow the main one is the Burbank.
They have actually Heinz has, because we had a living in Cleveland, going to Pittsburgh all the time. My parents had a friend that worked at the Heinz company, and there was one year where they turned down 70% of the tomatoes that came in because for some reason the tomatoes that were grown by this one region where they buy a majority of their tomatoes didn't have enough rain or something, and it made the tomatoes taste differently, and it made the ketchup taste different.
Yeah, I can believe it. I've brought loads the whole way from Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, South, and get turned down when you get to Pennsylvania. It's like multiple weeks in a row for the same load. It's like, man, are you serious? Yeah. Pull out of there and they call you back an hour later. All right, this is where you're going now. Here. Shit.
Yeah, you go to the secondary market.
Secondary
people
market.
There buying them and taking them right out to the street and selling them immediately.
Third market down, and if you were a truck driver and you were smooth and you just kept your mouth shut, took whatever they gave you, I could have got a whole box of tenderloins one time. I mean, beautiful tenderloins that this place turned down. There was nothing wrong with them. I was like, "What'd you guys turn these boxes?" I should have kept my mouth shut because they had told me, this RMA, and that's for truck drivers, like, you got to get rid of it, give it away. You can't use it. And that means, okay, I gave it away. I put it into my refrigerator, into my cooler. Go buy a cooler. If you got a 90-pound box, you go buy a cooler. If there's 2 boxes, box is bad. You go until you get home. Within the next 3 days. Hey, I need a load by the house. I need to get a load by the house, man. I need to get home real quick. Put it in the freezer. Tenderloin. You like. But I was like, no, what's this? It's not leaking. I didn't have time for that shit. This ain't leaking, man. He's like, what do you mean? Said, look at these bags. What do you? I said, I don't know which one is leaking. I said, I don't know what happened. Maybe it came from something they had on here before. I said, but these ain't bad. 15 minutes later, They wiped it off and said, don't worry about it. I got to take off because it was a damn waiting process. They got to go through the write-off process, and they're going to eat it themselves. Does the shipper have to eat it? Is this guy going to eat it? Blah, 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 blah. You know, the red tape. Sometimes they just skip that red tape and say, this happens with it. You decide what's happening.
That's funny, Rez, because like right now I do in the reefer business. So guys, trucks will come in with a trailer and they'll ask us for a download. So like all the data inside the trailer is recorded and shit.
Oh yeah.
We can download that for the date range. So like if a load gets turned down, boom, we can download it, and that's like their backup on what they can figure out. Like they can figure out if it was loaded hot. So if it came into the trailer hot, they can tell that. They can tell if it was like frozen when it came in and thaw out as it was in there, which would be, you know what I mean, the process. It was interesting because guys came in asking for that, and I was just like, what are they doing? And they're like, oh, they had a load turned down, so they have to prove that their trailer was in proper shape and whatever, you know. Because if it's the fault of the trailer, they had shit didn't work and it didn't keep it cool, then they'll turn it up. Oh.
Right. The 2 years, that's an interesting experience, because the 2 years that I pulled a reefer trailer, the guidelines were you can't leave the yard until the trailer hits a certain point. Okay, so the trailer has to be at a certain point. And the first time I saw that, I went, what? I grew up on a farm. I'm like, what's the temperature got to be before this whole 40,000 pounds or 42,000 pounds of beef rolls out of here? What is it? What's the temperature got to be? What am I at now? I'm looking at it going, all right, I'm fine. And I'm like, holy shit, you know, because you can't pull out until it's at least at I think it was for those loads, it was like 40 degrees on the down road. If it's dry, as long as it's dropping, I think 32 is the minimum, because you had a zero setting on most of those. The zero setting, that stuff never froze over 4 or 5 days on a truck, because you're 3.5 days getting to from Texas to your load. And if you got to sit from Friday to Monday with that load, you know, some of those you pull up on, they're already sitting there 4 days, and they're like, hot. Like, yeah, it's hot. It's been sitting on the truck 4 days, and now you want to deliver them too. Damn right, it's hot. What are you talking about? Yeah, so yeah, but now that you can go to apartments, you know, I haven't been in a truck, refrigerated truck, since long freaking time, 13 years. So I'm guessing the technology to track stuff inside of there is even better. But back then it was decent. You know, it'd be like sticking a hygrometer or one of these ones like we have, cheapy from the store to use for your grow tent that tells you the humidity and temperature. You know, you can just shove those in every compartment as long as the battery doesn't get killed by the cold.
We're installing a unit on a trailer right now that's multiple temperatures, so they can have like freezing in the front and like, you know, like above, like a warmer temperature in the back, or both of them freeze, you know, but they can split it up so that half the trailer is one temp and the other half's the other temp.
I was sitting in a truck stop off of 70. I've told this story once before, but I don't know if it was here or somewhere else. And they beat on the door. I was sleeping in, and all of a sudden I was sleeping I got stopped for the night. I had been running hard, picked up that load, took it as far as I could until I ran out of my time, and jumped in the sleeper. And I was asleep. About 2 hours later, boom, 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 boom. Like, what the hell? Oh man, go away! And I thought it was a lot lizard. You know, I'd never been to this truck stop, and I'm down the deep hole of it, the bottom rack, the bottom row, farthest away from the truck stop. Step down toward the river, like kind of in the woods. And I'm like, go away. And he says, I'm here. I'm the mechanic. He said, I'm from Thermo King. I'm like, oh shit. I kicked the door open. He said, you didn't get the message? He said, no. He said, I'm here to fix your reefer. He said, your computer's going off your reefer shut down. I'm like, seriously? He's like, yeah, I've never had this happen before. He's like, so when mine went off after a couple minutes, the alarm went off, and it set an alarm to Thermo King. the Thermo King automatically was dispatched to my truck. That's 24/7. Them guys are probably, they're getting paid big money on their own equipment, right? Some of that stuff warranty, you'd be pulling a brand. That was probably a pretty new trailer. He woke me up. I was like, "How did you know?" He said, "Your computer." He said, "When it shut off, he said it sets the alarm." I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." He said, "Yeah, it's all through the satellite. It's all programmed in there."
Yeah, that's probably a $40,000 or $50,000 cooling unit in there, if not more.
Yeah, those trailers new were probably with what we were getting with automatic fill on the rear tires. That's pretty wild. You get a whole set of, get your tires flat, one or two tires off the rim. Their first time you call it in, they're like, no, you got light on the front of your trailer. I'm like, "What are you talking about? Is there a light on the front of your reefer?" I'm like, "Yeah." So your trailer's got an automatic leveling on your tires once you hook up your air. I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He said, "Just hook up and pull that trailer and get going down the road and check it 25 miles. If you got a problem, we'll do something about 25 miles." He said, as soon as those tires heated up, that light went off. I jumped out of that trailer, took the air gauge, put them on all of them, and I was like, "Holy shit, these tires are all full." Rebeat it, heated up enough to rebeat the tire. Middle of the night, coming out of like Liberal, Kansas, Dorothy's home. That was coming out of Liberal the first time, I think, or Dodge City. Yeah, that would have been Liberal, Kansas, home of Dorothy, the Wizard of Oz.
You guys make me think that, and I've been discovering this myself here recently, is can you trust what you're getting from anything in the retail or even the wholesale market? Can you trust what they're saying? Can you trust what you're getting? And I'm not just talking about cannabis. I mean, anything nowadays. I don't
No. Not unless somebody's finally taken them to court and they laid out their plan of where somebody's found their full ingredient list. Bingus.
What do you mean by trust, Bingus?
Well, what they're telling you is,
Yeah.
like ingredients, like stuff that you eat, especially that it's, oh, this is good and this is like quality. And it seems like the things that are quality have the most on the label, have the most crap in it. I mean, if you start being a label reader, I can't, dude. I don't buy much anymore as far as store-bought goods. I try to eat vegetables and fruits and stuff like that. But even then, you got to wash them. You got to make sure that you got all the residue of all the crap that they put on them to make them look the proper color and all that. You don't know.
Any prepared meal out of like a grocery store, you know what I mean? Freezer shit like that, canned even. I'm like, nah, that's not like, even like it's fucking anything. Taco Bell. Do you think you're getting like your steak burrito? You think that's like steak and shit? You know what I mean? Half that shit I'm eating, I'm like, this is steak. This is still putting it down though. Yeah, I agree with it.
I'm trying to be very conscious about what I put in my mouth. And when you do that, you start to realize there's not much out there that I really want to put in my mouth if I really look at it. You know what I mean? Unless I've grown it myself. And I know, like that chicken, I raised it on my cannabis seeds. So I didn't
That's
want
the worst one, I think, Bingus.
What's that?
I think that's the worst ones, the chickens, from what I've been around chickens and what I've seen of what they do in the market. I think some of those guys care, but I think some of those places are probably bad.
They care about the money. That's the whole point here. It's all corporate stuff is dying. Well, I read an article the other day where all the lower level positions are going to be saturated and gone or soaked up and removed by 2027.
How? 27.
So you go to order a hamburger now,
I agree with you, Bingus. I'd love to raise some chickens. We've been talking about that. Try to do like meat chickens, not just like 10 laying eggs.
raise your own hogs,
rounds of meat chickens, and
go back in time basically a little bit and try to do things the way we were taught originally. It used to be, a kid grew up and did what his family did, right? Like if that was ranching or whatever, right? Then they decided the Industrial Revolution came through. And it's like, no, you need to get a job. All right. And then work 40 years and get a gold watch and sit at home and die. And it's just, I've never adhered to that very well throughout my life. And I realized it was probably a good thing that I didn't adhere to it. So anyway, it's just some awakenings here I'm having recently, especially with I don't know about you guys, but driving, I don't drive that much, but it has, people are nuts. Lady at
You live in the city though?
small city,
Oh, okay.
100,000 people. Lady at the turn signal, right? It turns green. She's just sitting there. I'm like, I don't want to honk. I don't want to be impolite. I'm thinking, all right, maybe she's picking her nose or something, right? Next green, she sits there again. Guy behind me starts honking. Right? I get out of my car on a busy street and I knock on the window. It's red. She looks at me and takes off like she was in a rocket ship. Luckily, she didn't kill herself. I'm just like, what the fuck is going on here? You know, it's crazy shit. People talking and doing a guy on the street corner. This is a small city. All right, I live on the street corner at the bus stop, doing karate movements and kicking at something in the air that's not there that I can see. I mean, finding customer service, I think they removed that phrase from the dictionary. I don't think it even exists anymore.
If only you knew he was saving the world, though, Bingus.
Hey, I hope he won. I'm just saying it was a little strange. You know what I'm saying?
That's customer service.
Customer service is outsourced these days.
Where
You get somebody else to take your call on that shit.
these days, you mean since I've
My
had
local fucking Hungry Howie's outsources the phones. Literally, you can call the local Hungry Howie's. You look it up. Call the local number, and you get somebody randomly. And I even asked him the last time. I'm like, so you're gonna be at the local Holton Wing. Okay. Hungry Howie's when I get there, right? I'll be able to say hi, shake your hand. I'm like, that's one of your pizza I was ordered. And I'm like, no. Are you there?
Fuck this pizza unless Steve's here. I want Steve to give me the fucking pizza.
Anything else, sir? I'm like, are you there? No. Goodbye, sir.
That's funny. What, you're not going to be there? Bummer.
Okay.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's sad. It's sad that in there, like you go in there and they're standing down. You're like, man, they're outsourcing this shit. It's sad.
American Airlines outsources some of their stuff to the Philippines. And I'm trying to work out how to get home from this ice storm after they canceled my flight 2 days in a row. And it's like, you're not even in the United States. You're in the Philippines. I can hear the chickens behind you. I said, can I have your manager, please? I need your supervisor. Well, I should have actually taken them to court over it because he actually asked me what made me disabled, my disabilities. And he wouldn't go any farther unless I told him. So I should have taken him on that. I just wanted to get home.
I'm not leaving it up to chat what part I would be judging, man. They've got me stuck in that suppository category. They're refusing to let me walk away from that. It's not happening.
Hopefully there's some kind of other topical that you get to with it or something. Anyway, man, I'm gonna jump out. It's been awesome. Fingers, good to see you, Captain, Wes.
Hey, smoke some of that Death Star for me.
I'm saving some. I only got a little bit left, so I'm saving it. It's down for the reserves.
I'm following you out, Smiley.
Yeah,
Always a pleasure, sir.
yeah. Appreciate you, man.
Thanks, Eagle.
Mr. Mingus, I appreciate you popping in as well.
Appreciate
You
you.
bring this.
Same to you guys, Rez, Captain. Good to see you. Chat room.
Cheers, Bingus.
Always good to see you, chat room. All of you. Good to see you. Weed Nerd World.
Have a nice ride.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers. What are we looking at there, Russ?
This is that one that was dead. I was sad last time you saw it. 2 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago. Right after I
Looking
did
good
it.
now.
Yeah,
Is that from
yeah.
a nice strip? Is that bottom burst there natural?
This is natural. The only thing I've been taking off are the single fans, right? Because they just suck, you know. They got that when it was really hating me right before I transplanted it, they started to go to like acting like they were like cardboard or paper, and like, I just don't like you. You ain't taking care of me. I should have been transplanted or bud. Typically root rot when I see that. It's still coming back a little bit, but it's been a week. Last week I was going to jump on Monday, and I was looking at it right before I opened the tent. I was like, oh man, it kind of looked like yesterday. It might be getting better. I'm getting tired of waiting on this thing. I'm about tired of. I'm going to rip it out and go back to a smaller root ball. And I didn't. I opened the tent and I went, oh wow, look at that thing. It finally came back. I took some. Once it finally showed me it was going to do something, I took a little fish shit. I took a little Alaskan fish shit and poured it and added a little extra water after I had left to go a couple of days without water, and it perked right up. And now I got it pretty. It's good for 2 or 3 days on water, probably 2 days. It's perked back up, took off going, got some big nodes facing here I didn't really want, but I don't mind it. Smells like it's got that pine fuel with a little fruit, skunky. The toe cheese. If you take the leaves off and if you rub this one here, it's that toe cheese with that little bit of that pine. This is that grapefruit F4. This is a F4, one of those 4 that I made. You know, where the male's the female's the female, the male, the favorite female in the whole one. You know, looked like a Kush, big Kush that was going to be nice, straight up, and it was like turned out to be a male. You know, it smells kind of like that, but it has those dark leaves like the male did. It has those real dark, but the male had the double serrated. I haven't got any double serrated, but I am getting some 11 leafers. I haven't seen if this is an 11. That's an 11 there. I'm waiting to see if I get a 13 out of it. I mean, like, I kind of like where this went. Probably not my pheno pick out of it, but we'll see. I'll smoke it. We'll see what happens. It's in soil. If it doesn't go to the point where it could be smoked at this point to be something decent, it'd be my fault, unless it's really that bad, you know. Yeah, but I wanted to show it to you before I flip it. I'm gonna flip it tomorrow.
So that
Figured it's good
answers my
enough.
question. I was going to ask you if that was their final pot there.
What do you think? It's 22. I think it's probably 23 inches tall now. I think it'll make it to the top. The way I got this crammed together, the way I did this tent.
What size is the tent?
What's that?
Is that like a 2x4 there?
4? Yeah, 2x4. 2x4 with a 6-inch. This could be of course I taped off this much. I heard somebody on here talking about that. I'm thinking about what if I need to change that beforehand. Probably not. But I was filtering the whole house with this for a while. Even when I wasn't growing, I had this thing running just so anything I did in the house got sucked through the tent. And
Shit, I usually fucking use that thing until it gets dirty, and then I pull it off and then run that filter. Well, you know what I mean? Without for a while, and then when it clogs up, it's done. We wash it.
Yeah.
We give it one last round. But
Well, since November, I ran it when I had that load, the wall and one that I killed when I went home from Mom's funeral. Well, anyway, what I wanted to say is this has duct tape on it behind this much of it. Because I heard somebody say about the emptiness, if you ever noticed the emptiness in it, and to make it a little bit of a tighter draw. So I think somebody on here was talking about it. So I did what they did. They only talking about doing about this much of it, but I went ahead and put tape on this much of it. That way, if there's no carbon down here at the end where I didn't tap it, right? If it's empty, it makes sure it gets all past the carbon before it comes back out into the camper. Made sense to me. So I was like, yeah, why not?
The old filters, you used to be able to take them apart, and that white stuff on the outside is just your regular furnace filter that you can get in a big long roll.
Yeah,
but you should be able to take one end off, pour the carbon out, and put new carbon in it.
Forget that. Now here, with these here, what they say to do is flip them the first time, right? If you notice anything change, you flip it, you take this cap off and put it down here and this cap here. And that way then it gets going this way. So I'm like, this one I've been using light since I've had it probably for over a year. You know, since they shut me down, they got it right before they shut me down. I only had one run with it. And it was probably a pretty clean run, meaning that this filter inside the room didn't really get that dirty. This is just that dirty because I've been running it since November, and then I've been running it since beginning of February with the tent open. With the tent open, just sucking through it all the time, whether there was anything growing. I just put filtration in the house to make the air a little cleaner. You know what I mean? I reuse these things. I show you that. I reuse these things here, down here. They stick to the Velcro. I got some other idea. They stick to the Velcro here. So I use this as filter on the ends of the. With some Velcro, I can make it really good. You know what I mean? So there'd be filters you can take on and off. Those, just leave those things open all the time.
so does that go outside there?
No, it's just going right in back into the house. Back into the room where it used to be a grow room. Nope, just coming out here, Eagle. I'm just tilting right back around. I got some other fans in here. I got my fan in my bedroom. That used to be a grow room, right? That's where my bed is now on the damn floor. And that fan here is always pushing air out here. So my door's open most of the time, unless it's too hot.
Yeah, I used to roll with mine with the door open with the light on. Why not give it as much air as flow as possible? Just makes sense.
Of course, that's only 55 watts there. That's not the whole light, right? There's the whole light. That's a little brighter. Just a little bit. That's a nice 220 watt light, man. I like that bar light. You know, after having those cobs, they're just sitting over in the box, just sleeping. There's 55, 110. I like these changeables, right? You've had a bunch of them. I guess you got them all in boxes still. I set them back up, man. I missed the horseshoe.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
First time I saw that, I was like, check that out. That guy's got a big old horseshoe tent, man. That's pretty cool.
And then you came on with the veg outside right next to you. Now that was perfect. I thought that would be my basement.
There you go.
Veg plants.
I got a feeling
Right.
there's a big grow right around the corner. Right around the corner.
It's not as sticky as I think I would pick for an end keeper. You know what I'm saying? But she's had a hard life, man. She didn't like that transplant, but right before I transplanted her, she just went pissed off. Like she ran out of newts, and I didn't have enough in the container or whatever in the cocoa. The cocoa, the gallon didn't fall apart. You know, it's one of these guys that just kales, man. That's some good tasting kale there. That's been going a while. I've been picking off it, keep cutting off it. Anyway, what was I saying about that? Yeah, I don't know. How's she look to you?
That's good.
I saw one leaf down there. It looked like it was missing something, but you know how that happens once they're getting better. It took off like crazy. I mean, the note spacing, I'm not sure if I like the note spacing up here or not. But you know, you took the only one you got, you're like, yeah, I'm gonna grow it out. I'm not killing it. What are you talking about? I'm gonna take some clones off it. I'm gonna take a clone right here, I think. maybe right here if it gets too tall by the time. No, I think I measured it. Is that better or is that better? That's probably other ways better, isn't it? It's good looking plant. Smells good. Don't smell bad. It's got some stickiness to it. Got some of that skunkiness to it, right? So yeah, about 2 feet tall. I think it'll probably end up all the way up. If it stretches like that, keep stretching like it did last week. I was going to jump on and I didn't. I was like, look at that thing did. Holy crap. I said, I got to show them it came back.
Yeah, that's good.
You guys should let dry out and let the cocoa do, you know, you and the major were like, he'll come back. Let us do his thing. I did. I let it set for a couple of days. It's hard to let that top go dry, you know. You know, you dump too much water down below. And you're like, I know that top's too dry. I need to put water on it.
Major's probably busy planting those autos.
Oh my. You know now. No, even now it's going. When did I water it? I gave it a nice water yesterday.
I know the Thai people have a hard time with that. They think that they have to continuously water a plant. And it's like you've got it sitting in water now. Let it dry out for like 4 or 5 days. You go over 3 days later and they already watered it. Well, we didn't water it. We put
in my opinion,
you
shouldn't even have to even think about water until you're like 2 knuckles deep. It's dry. 2 knuckles deep is dry.
Right? If you know you got it to the bottom. Is that what you mean, Eve?
Yep.
If you know you've gotten the water all the way to the bottom once before and you don't have dry pockets. Does cocoa not get dry pockets as easy as what's the other stuff I've grown in? M3.
Anything else? It just kind of depends on, to me, on the root system. Yeah, but you know what I mean? Bare spots in the soil there. Of course, there's nothing there drinking it or whatever. Of course, there's going to be a little bit of a wet spot there.
Well, I know for sure that it's since it took back off in the last week. Yeah, I know it was down in probably here. It's probably grown since down in here. About where it was. It's probably grown a good.
You can figure for that plant right there that you're looking at. In my opinion, since it's not it's not from seed anymore. There's not a single tap root. So there should be like a main root for every one of those branches. So above, so below. You know what I mean?
Wait a second. That came from seed. That's a tap root.
Well, at some point it's gonna hit. It's not gonna stay. You know what I mean? Go down, 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 down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's hit the bottom yet. I don't know. It was slow, man. Look, even there. Let me see. Let me check it out. I don't want to do it too far. It seems pretty strong from I didn't see. I'm not afraid to dig the roots. Well, I don't want to do it yet. I was gonna flip tomorrow.
I always kind of figured that too when in flour, when I'm like jamming that steak in there. I'm just like, I'm root pruning.
Not only that, the other thing I was thinking was bending it over.
You do that too,
I
Eagle.
was gonna take it and slide it over all the way over here, back where I had it. I just moved it to the center. I did have a tray of water here.
I've done that
And
too.
I was
Russ.
gonna bend it.
Just take a fucking
What's
steak and fucking jam it in on an angle and then pull that top over on that to match the steak. Yeah.
I was just gonna pull it all the way
Yeah,
over.
strap it
tie
over
down
to-
this,
Yeah. Strap it.
tie
Just
it
fucking-
over
there you go. All right. I'll work too.
there. I have some, but I have a net. I have a trellis. I could literally, I can still trellis this thing if I want to try it. I haven't done it yet. I've never done it.
You want to talk the trellis word? That's the S word basically.
I know. I'm not. We've had this conversation. I'm not a big fan of trellis either. I'm not a trellis fan. But in a 2x4 tent, you can almost reach it. But even with a bad back, after doing that, and I'm thinking, maybe I don't want to do that. No, I'm also thinking of all these tops.
Buddy says front door.
I'm just gonna flip it because I got some spinach coming up in the bathroom. We're getting ready to come up, and some more tomatoes I'm testing, and some more spinach. So I want to have some room to throw them back here in the corner, even if this thing's growing. I think I can still probably get a quarter pound out of this thing if I do it right. Yeah.
Cheers,
I
buddy.
hope so
Hi.
organic.
I
Unless
tried to
Bud's
come
gonna
on
drop
before it
some of the plants off.
got dark. I could show you my outdoor.
Atalanto, Bud. It's Atalanto.
It's
Is
like
there any
Victorville to me.
Land,
It's
and you
Victorville to
use
me.
some really
Yeah,
crystallized
Victorville and
buds. Hook me up.
Atalanto. That's pretty close to my home. There you go.
I-
A lot more than me.
Man,
Hey,
that's
whether or
good
not,
weed.
that's the way I look at it right now. I wish there was 3 of those sitting in there.
These are the plants from Alanto. I just put them in
Atalanto, there you go.
today. They were like clones. I think these ones are Banana Daddy from Ethos.
Does that place, do they sell them to the public over there or only to the commercial?
Yeah, it's commercial. But my nephew owns it, so like these are just, I don't know,
Leftovers.
extras, or they got lots of them.
They're nice big extras too.
Yeah, I don't think you would call them teens, but they're like bigger than clones, even though they're just in the here. I still have,
Yeah.
they gave me more than I need, which now creates like, yeah, I don't need that many. Like I have 100 of each variety. Yeah, that's a lot. But then what else am I going to do with them? But grow them. So yeah, like 150 would have been better because I used all my space. I used all my space and veg, and there's still like 50 left. So
That's a nice little drive. How was the traffic?
it wasn't bad that day. It was 2 hours each way. It's out there in the middle of nowhere. I used to race go-karts out there. Yeah, this is how they come. They come in these little 6-packs. That's how they come. And yeah,
Nice.
Some are better than others as far as branching, but those are the leftovers.
Decent size clones, though.
Yeah,
Heck yeah.
that's the commercial. That's what they want them right at that size, because a lot of those places they order them by like the 1,000. They want them on a certain day, and yeah, they like even the sales pitch basically when they go to a commercial operation that already has its own veg. Yeah, well, they can take that veg and flour it, and then
Makes me just want to throw walls
so
up in the door.
not all
or my room.
facilities, but a lot of facilities that set it up with their own veg and their own mom room and all that are easy sales because the math works. If you just
Yeah.
buy, the clones are all like registered. These are ethos. So it's Banana Daddy and White Wedding that I guess are like
Veg for 30 and flip.
Yeah, good idea.
Veg for 30 and flip. 100 days, you're done.
It's so hard to find clones up here.
I have a place here in Thailand that just offered me clones. Their fresh clones are rooted, and then they spend 3 weeks in a little pot. Or I can buy bigger plants. So I'm trying to set up a video conference to see what they mean by bigger plants and how much.
Well, I'm sure there's places that sell them for less or more, but on the commercial license deal, when they're buying by the hundreds, if not 1,000, they're $7 each. 7.
Yeah.
It's like both my nephew's place and this other place I know of that a friend buys a couple thousand clones from every year. 7 seems to be the. Now these are like my own genetics and stuff. So then all of a sudden you have too many. Like I like the idea of the monocropping, but then how do you juggle keeping all your other, like these are all new seeds.
Build another room.
These are like Kaya seeds and Dying Breed seeds and compound seeds.
Find another bedroom.
If you know hunting, you keep cup mounts. When it comes times, you got to keep ahead. You keep a couple of cycles ahead. You go, I'm going to have Chem Dog here coming up. So you bring out that Chem Dog clone. You fucking veg her up as big as you can. You take a bunch of cuts, as many as you can, and one viable clone to keep back its mom.
Yeah,
fucking
monocrop that
section.
One of these is a Chem Dog, like the one that I have that I'm keeping going. One's a Sherbert. One's a Cuban Black Haze. One.
Cuban Black Haze here would be perfect.
There's this one that.
Did you say Cuban Black Haze?
Yeah.
Yep.
Then there's Molotov Cocktail, which finishes fast, like
Cuban
the
Black
hatch
Haze.
strain.
What is that? That sounds interesting.
RS11.
I like some of that.
It's
leaf
an
structure,
old strain.
That one right to the left. What was that? Some of that has some of that big, like that fine structure. Some of that, I like long, thin. I like that long, thin leaf structure.
Lemon sherbet. I don't know. Oh, here it is. Chem Dog. Yeah.
Chem Dog. There you
This
go.
plant right here. Somewhere on here is this new strain from Snoop Dogg called Dog Bone. I think it came out from on the cookies menu or something. It's called Dog Bone. It's somewhere out here. Yeah, right here, Dog Bone. That's Snoop Dogg's latest. I don't know. I have no idea. Like they come and they go. They come and they go. with strains.
Were they in cocoa, bud?
Some are in Rockwell and some are in cocoa.
Okay.
This time, King's Mix. Yeah, King's Mix.
So you do your same
with
shooting in each
worm
one.
castings, like 3 cubic foot of King's Mix gets a half, like 0.75 worm castings added, and that's it. Yeah.
Oh.
Because at the place, King's Mix is $21 for 3 cubic feet. So that's pretty decent.
You use a lot of worm casting.
A lot.
Inside.
And then inside, outside, everywhere I can put worm castings. My outside beds, the last 2 years have only been amended and only grow on water and worm castings.
Nice. That's the good weed to smoke here.
Yeah, I have my own little worm thing, but it doesn't make like it's more of like a hobby worm thing. Like,
are there good castings out of San Diego?
Yeah, one of the oldest guy has a place in Encinitas that he just makes worm castings and sells rock phosphate. And Organics Alive, they're cheaper. Like the big bag of the better worm castings is like $26-7, and then
I haven't looked.
Organics Alive is 17. And
So
it isn't bad.
How many pounds?
I think it's 1.5 cubic.
I always
Yeah.
think a good quality check when it comes to worm castings is actually like putting water to it, couple cups to whatever, and stirring it around and actually see what settles. There's a bunch of sand in the bottom of that shit. Where exactly is that weight coming from? Am I getting it from good
I don't usually,
or is it, castings that are full of sand? Yeah.
I usually don't buy this bag, but the guy at the store said that it was almost as good or just as good as I forget the brand that I usually get, but it was $10 less. So I try a bag. I didn't do what you're saying in the water, but I looked at it with my hand. Yeah, it's good. It's worm castings. There is a level where you could get worm castings just like fake. Like it's not even worm castings.
With sand, like the Eagles say, when you do that stir test, the number one thing you're going to get is left over from how well they got it. It's sand. There's all kinds of sand in there. Worms love sand. It's just something else that was in the soil. Whatever they sell at the hydro store, it's full of sand. It's not too bad. I had good luck with that. It's Wisconsin. What is that stuff that everybody sells at the hydro store?
Dr. Wiggle.
Yeah, wiggle worm. What is it? Dr. what?
Dr. Wiggles. Wasn't it? Or was it Wiggle Worm?
Dr. Wiggles.
Dr. Wiggles.
Is it Wiggle?
No.
Dr. Wiggles? Is that what it is?
No.
Something like that. Well, that is wiggle worm, something like that. Out of Wisconsin, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. They're selling lots. They're selling lots of shit. Worm shit, that is.
Yeah, the name of this company, and they have it at Grow Generation stores distribution. It's called AgroWin Fertilizers, but it's a worm casting, and they also sell soft rock phosphate. It's this old timer that's had this business in Encinitas, which is like the Primus real estate on the coast, producing these worm castings for like 50, 60 years. And that he could easily sell that property, and they put condos, and he probably never work a day in his life. But yeah, he has his little business, and it's in Encinitas, which I give him credit for still doing it after all these years, and he makes good worm castings.
It hadn't sold out.
Agro wind.
He's enjoying his property and hadn't sold out.
Yeah, that's one of those type of guys. He probably has like kids and grandkids and all that are like, yeah, sell. We could all live forever off the value of this property.
Possibly. Or he's like, maybe you guys will want it, maybe you won't.
Or yeah, I don't. I used to. You can go to his yard and buy direct from him, but I just pick it up at the store. So, but yeah, he's there.
Nice. Fresh worm castings is nice. Yeah, but that wiggle, whatever the wiggle stuff is somebody in chat there, look it up so we're not wiggling around the story. That's good.
Well, I like the worm castings in the sense that I never get the feeling I can put too much of it or too often. It's, it's probably also not that strong overall, but like, yeah, I feel like I'm doing something or I'm giving them something. But ultimately the soil and all the components that went into that soil 3-4 years ago, yeah, they're doing their thing. There's worms in there too.
You're right. It was wiggle worm. Is the most average one.
So that's why
at least there is a wiggle worm. Let's put it
if I had a bed again, or if I could get into soil like that, I'd just go where where you're at. If I did something on the ground, I'd just go try to find somebody that had some livestock, because you already got the worms, so you can just sprinkle a good coating of.
Like you have your worms do your composting. That's like ultimately, and with all kinds of
like in your veg, like anything's in veg, I would go for anything I can put on wet. Sheep and goat you can put on wet. It doesn't have to break down. You can put it in a bucket, break and stir it if you want to. You can put it in a bucket, mix it with water, and pour it right on. You want to see a plant grow. It will not burn.
No, but doesn't alpaca fit that? There's like a certain class of mammal animals that their poop is good without having to
let everything else dry or age. A cow, chicken, horse, anything else you're going to use, pig, let all that stuff age and ferment for a little and dry out best, and then re-wet it. All that stuff's better, I think, if you let it dry and then re-wet it. But if you age in a pit like cows guys do at the dairy farms, it's great. But the other ones, something like that, a goat, if you get somebody in that area had goats, if you had 10 pounds of put in water and just put in one of those 4x4 beds or 4x8 beds, you'd be like, I ain't never seen that tomato get so big that fast. I tried, I've seen the side-by-side test. It's amazing. And not burn. It's just one of the extras. But you got worms.
Well, but also, especially if that goat ate natural grasses. I mean, if it was fed pellets, well, then it's not going to be as good of a fertilizer, right?
Right. But you can take, and if you can go to a corner pile, you can take a couple piles in the corners of those beds of steer manure, whatever.
Well, there's a guy, he puts up signs on all the telephone poles, and basically he has like a pack of goats. I've seen him where he trailers them, and people pay him to bring the goats to their property to basically weed whack or to eat all the grass down. It's like a service.
Yeah. Some of those places in California, those ranchers, guys are running like 5,000 goats in a head, 500, 700 goats in a herd.
Well, if you have like hillsides, which are around here, yeah, the goats are like perfect because they.
But the new California law going into effect, they can't pay those guys the herd rate because most of those guys are from like Brazil, Argentina. I think they're most Brazilian goat herders and dogs. And they stay with them 24/7. With the new law going into effect in California, you now have to pay them an hourly rate. They're not going to be able to afford to pay these guys And I kind of look at that as an opportunity. I don't look at the bad side, because anybody out there independent right now wanting to get into business, now be the time, because you'd be the guy working. It's your own business. You know, I'll sit here 24 hours with these goats. I'm gonna sit here and smoke some weed. I mean, whatever you do, I'm gonna do that and work for myself and not have the same hazards, you know, and not have to pay all the insurance out. I'm not gonna pay all these guys that do the job. I'm gonna do it myself. If you're ambitious, it's a good. It pays really well.
Well, what I noticed with that is, yeah, he has like, they're sort of like horse trailers converted, but he has like the ability to move all the goats, like the vehicles and the trailers.
That's a lot of boats. They got those guys got the one I watched the other day was 700 in that herd, and that was just one of them. That's 700 goats, and they're putting it in electric netting, and they're going around and weed whacking. I've watched it years ago. I was going to start. I told people how many years ago? 18 years ago, 20 years ago. I talked about it. You know, they were doing it up in Berkeley, paying big time money up on for a hill in Berkeley. You know, 4 acres was paying like, I don't know, $5,000 or something. You know, goats cleared in, you know, a day or two, 3 days. Would wipe the whole thing out. No, I poison ivy, so you're not paying people to go in and scaffolding to clear all this brush out on these hills, and rattlesnakes and poison ivy and poison oak and all the insurance claims when people are working. Goats are cheaper, but now they're going to have to pay their hourly rate for these goat herders. They're like, no, we can't afford to do that. What are they going to do now? California pricing it out with the laws. I'm not saying some of those guys aren't getting paid enough money. They probably are. They're probably illegal.
No, immigrant workers in my area, it gets down to, oh, if you want to play the game and find low and pay low, then shit won't get done. But if you know the game and pay them well, you'll never get as much done in a day. But most of the jobs aren't just hourly; they're like incentive based, like whether they're like, like incentive based. And even with the weed whacking crews, because this year we've had a lot of rain, so it's a big thing. It used to be you could pick them up and they'd work hourly. Now they bid jobs that they don't like. It's not like, but the thing is like a crew of 3 can come and do like whatever, 20 acres, every square inch of it. Oh, good job. And, you know, they charge what they more like they realize their value, I guess. I don't know. Like,
you said 20 acres.
Like if you're trying to find cheap workers, yeah, you can find them and take advantage of them, but like nothing gets done. Do you know what I mean? Like that's like, oh, even the same guy, you pay him right, all of a sudden you're like, oh, you can work? Yeah. Like it's like I've noticed over the years, it's not like they get paid some low ass wage. Now, do they have to pay taxes and do all that other stuff? No. And so that even makes their hourly more valuable, right?
Yeah.
But from what I know, if you really want like anything done, you got to pay like proper wages.
Yeah, man. How are they going to pay those guys if they flip it? If you don't have money anymore, it's all.
Well, there's other jobs and bigger operations and that are different. But like in my area, it's mainly like, you know, groves and small groves, and most of it's picking jobs. But picking jobs, when you really get into it, are incentive based. So they work as a team, and the more poundage they can fill is going to like make for a bonus at the end of the day.
Exactly.
And when you really calculate that, oh, these guys know how to make money.
Right.
But the farmer looks at it and goes, yeah, there's a fee for the truck to come pick up the bins. So there's a whole, ultimately, if you can get it done, it's beneficial in all ways. And they know that. but they want their like piece of it. And they charge like it, I think it's 12 foot. Whatever, if a tree's over a certain foot, then there's a different rate. That means it's more dangerous. They have to go up on ladders and stuff, and they charge more. That's why a lot of farmers keep their trees pruned down to avoid having to pay the extra picking fees.
My brother did it one season that you could, in my area, there was a lot of fruit trees, right? There was a lot of apples, peaches. That time of year down back in Maryland, they needed somebody to pick the crops. So it was incentive based. You got paid by the bushel. You were just paid by the bushel. Didn't matter how, as long as you were legal age, you got there and do it. They pretty much give everybody a job because they needed the trees empty. Okay, you're paying by the bushel. So what you're saying, to get together and they all work as a team, and the amount of bushels you bring in goes up.
Yeah, I mean that's how like it's properly done. There's a lot of people that try to cut corners and think that, oh, like actually when you really get into it, the citrus pickers come from one particular area, towns in Mexico. Avocado pickers come from another, and they're like, it's almost generational. They're like, and you think, well, just anybody should be able to do that work. No, it's actually like, one, somebody has to have this satchel on their back or across their shoulder that at times weighs like way over 100 some pounds of avocados. So the guy that goes up in the tree and does that, he's gnarly because he climbs a ladder and is up in the tree with this huge amount of weight. A lesser person would probably come down when they had like 30, 40 pounds in the bag. When you see like these certain guys, you're like, holy shit, that you can't even pick that bag up. And he's just carried it up in the tree like it's nothing.
Yeah.
And a tree that has branches that look like they might hold you, but they don't.
Now I'm hungry for avocado.
Yeah, it's kind of dangerous. A lot of the land that's like really on hillsides and stuff, that's a whole other thing. Flatland picking and when guys have taken pretty much unusable land, but put in trees on the side of the fucking hills.
Yeah. They don't waste
that's like a whole other level of, it's hard work. The bottom line is hard work. And
I used to, you look at how some people run their land and then another person right beside them runs that same acreage so cut up and intense. It's like there's not an inch of it that's not something going on, right? Intensive, where they got chopped in gardens and they're going to tear, and then they've stacked it, they've terraced it because it's on a steep hill. I'm like, look at them people going up and down them hills to pick their crops. Oh man, they've taken every inch of this thing and just made it crop everywhere. I'm like, oh.
A lot of times those properties are like somebody's life's work. It wasn't they just year after year just kept at it and created the oasis that they visioned.
It's amazing, right? All that terraced. I love the terraced hills. But heavy rain, what's it like then?
Yeah, there's a lot of issues.
Well, they lean those things all the right way, right? So they don't go all rushing over, and they got the angle perfect, cut back in, so it drains down and goes another way. Shit.
Yeah, I mean, over the years, I mean, humans have been figuring that shit out for thousands of years. So there's ways.
Well, you were just
you just have to respect the water, though. Like ultimately, the water's going to win, especially if it rains hard. And every so many years, it rains hard. So
Give it
Be ready
somewhere to
for it.
go fast enough that it doesn't destroy your shit out of the way of your stuff. Humans been trying to do that for years. Get the water. The guy who comes and builds his place up in the woods, just cuts a path up and doesn't think about the water at all. He's rebuilding that driveway over and over and over. And the guy who thinks about it takes a little bit of time getting to a place, even if he's got to make a turn or two, doesn't replace his driveway as often, because he's got the water moving at a slower rate coming down that hill, not taking all his gravel away. But most guys just, I want to get to the cabin right there, and they just straight line right up the mountain, and that's the fastest way to get there. They think 40 years after owning it, they're like, I should have built that driveway. Stop saying that, Ralph. You've been saying that the last 40 years. That's his wife. Should have, would have, could have built that in the side of the hill, right?
Well, even my problem, I have like
That's where I want to put my house.
below me is my building that's a foundation. So you can tell when they put in the foundation, it might have been 6 or 8 inches higher than what was ground level. But over the years, and that was built years before I've been here, but I've been here 10 years. Certain amount of erosion from the hill above it, where the house is, and there's a good amount of land above it that's granite. Basically, it's not really soil, or it's granite. It's there's been erosion that then it's the ground levels mainly even with the foundation that was built up. Now, if they would have put a French drain in, which would have been so easy when you built this, right? Nope, you would have never had this problem.
Right.
But even for years, it wasn't a problem. But over a longer period of time, that erosion has basically made it level with the foundation, which then when it rains really hard, floods in a little. And even this year, I'm waiting for my AC guy to come. The split minis that's on like a base and had been there for like 10 years. This year it rained so hard and the erosion was so gnarly, it shifted it. It like it moved it. Still working fine and everything, but it's not level anymore because it got moved. But if there was a French drain now, yeah, I should put a French drain in, but doing that like post, not as easy as like, oh, all you would have had done is cut the trench and put a pipe in and solve the problem. But
what year was that house built?
87. And the 2 previous owners, they're like come from the do-it-yourself school.
Okay.
So like, yeah, a lot of things are like, oh, like the original guy, he must have like been a plumber. So he's all the plumbing fittings, everything. It's beautiful work, are all soldered, like the old school way, no fittings. Well, it's like even a current plumber today that came to do some work is like, yeah, I don't do work on solder. That's like old technique, where you solder pipes together.
Don't solder pipes anymore? Holy shit.
Yeah. So next thing you know, you got to get a different plumber in to then add pipe to be able to put a fitting on there. All this complicated shit where it's like, yeah, that's why you use fitting today. You don't use like fucking soldered pipe that leaves no room for anything to happen.
Too many easy connections for that shit these days.
Yeah.
Mechanical fasteners. Even for copper, there's ways around actually having to sweat that shit out.
I have no problem with clear plastic. I like that plastic.
Sweat a pipe, so I have to.
First time I saw a hot water tank in a house, and that was probably 25, 30 years ago. And it had a tee off the top of it, about tee off the top, the manifold on the top of that thing had probably 15 or 6, no, 12, probably 12 different lines. They're all individual hot lines going right to point of use. So they were all small lines like you would have in a camper, like I have here. Kind of that's real thick tubing, you know. And like, check that out. What the hell is that? It's like I always wanted to do that in the house, but I never did. I was like, that's the way to go. Holy shit. Look at that. But that was all plastic, right? That was all plastic. You know, but 25 years ago.
Shit's some of that shit I don't know about plastic. Apex is nice.
My camper's 20 years old, man. These lines, man, I can see the lines with places where I've gotten to Eagle. Man, that plastic, man, is probably the same density and everything. Now, now are we getting plastic coming off that into it? Well, thankfully, I'm not drinking this water, so I don't have to worry about that. If it's plastic sucking through my skin when I take a shower in it and wash my hands, then that's a different story.
Gonna roll her down to the 20 here, boys. 2-minute warning.
Oh, it is, man.
Yeah, 11:20. I'm gonna hit the gym. I didn't fucking hit it earlier. Shout out to 24/7 Fitness, who decided to hook me up with free gym time from now to the race. Support me like that. So
Awesome.
That's nice. When's the race?
August 26th.
All right.
Michigan.
Your
5 days
training's
before
on.
my birthday.
I see a couple of your posts where you post certain stuff I don't understand, but you're on track to be competitive race day.
Yep.
Right
It's
on.
a 10-mile race.
That's a big one. That's 10 miles. That's a good length.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a nice run. I'm trying my best and I'm gonna do my best. So we'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
I can run right now. I can run 9 miles in an hour and 24 minutes. So that's what I'm going to do now. Is I'm ready to fucking
84 minutes.
basically tonight's mission is basically to fucking go hit because of the machine will only let me run 45 minutes at a time. So in 45 minutes on the machine at current speed, I'm doing just over 5 miles. So tonight I'll fucking run 45 minutes, probably fucking catch my wind, take a drink of water, and fucking turn around and run 45 fucking more minutes.
Well, I've always heard there's this real thing called the runner's high. So
It's real. It's real.
I personally have never experienced it, but all right, I'll sign off first. It was great hanging with you guys tonight. Have a good run, Eagle and Cap, and everyone have a good week.
You have a good week as well, buddy. Thanks for popping out.
Yeah.
Thanks, Eagle. Thanks, everybody. Good seeing you, Cap. Bud.
Russ.
45 minutes. So you got 45 minutes, that's an hour and a half. How far you say you're going in an hour and a half?
2:45. Oh, how far? 5 miles. 45 minutes. Times 2.
9 minutes a mile.
Well, it's like under. Yeah, it's pretty much 9 miles. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
You're not running until August?
Yeah, I gotta till August to better that number.
Yeah,
Shit.
you'll definitely keep it up.
Smiley was talking about one of his. I think it was like his maybe a brother-in-law or some shit like that. running like 20-mile races, and then like in the middle of the races running like a 6.5 minute mile
Yeah.
and shit. Like,
Uh-huh.
holy shit.
I was thinking 6 minute miles when you were talking about it, but
Oh, fuck,
I'm,
man. I
I'm
hope
now
that
55 and can't talk about that. So.
I don't know if I'm gonna be that ready. Fuck, man. Imagine for the longest time they didn't even think they could break a 7 minute mile. Now that's cruise speed in a fucking marathon.
4 minute
What the
mile.
fuck?
The 4 minute
Yeah,
mile.
4 minute mile went by like 50 years ago.
Right. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I never got close
But
to that. Anywhere close to that. All right, I'm out of here. Peace, everybody.
Later, brother.
Good run, Eagle.
Thanks, Brian.
well, Eagle, thanks for having a show tonight. Thanks for having me on. Everybody out in chat, thanks for sticking with us. And now that it stopped raining, maybe I'll be able to make it out to the store. Have a good one.
You too.
Peace, everyone. Good luck with the race.
Thank you, my friend. We'll see each other before then, I'm sure.
Yeah. Peace out.
Peace out. With that being said, I agree with everybody that said the same thing earlier on. Thank you guys very much so for hanging out for this episode. I greatly, greatly appreciate you guys. Man, I can't tell you how much that I personally do miss doing the shout outs. At this point, vision is improving in my eye, not 100%. But as far as sitting down and trying to read a long list, that would, on my good days, take almost a half hour. I'm not ready if I'm ready for all that to stumble through that. Yeah, I don't know in time, but I want you guys to know I miss it. And a huge, huge, huge shout out and thank you to the 17, yes, 17 only Patreon people that help keep the lights on for the show. And well, pretty much it helps pay for the internet. And that's it. So out of the what 3,900 and I think it's like 36 or some shit like that do subscribe to the channel. No, well, there's people that help out in other ways, small ways, but no, there's pretty much a few and 17 myself that help keep the lights on and make this possible. So huge shout out to the 17 of y'all that hang out and have continued to show your support over the years. It means a lot, especially now that I kind of see, man, it's very disheartening, man. You take a couple days off and you see people unsub and all that good shit. So it's awesome that you guys stick it out. So cheers to you guys, 100%. Cheers to you guys that have helped in the past. I'm not trying to guilt anybody. John, love you. You're fucking super awesome, dude. I understand life happens, man. 100%. That's why I'm saying my thank yous, because it has been a rough road, but there's been a lot of cool motherfuckers that have helped keep this shit rolling. So cheers to the awesome people. Cheers to the rest of you guys. I love you as well. With that being said, I'm gonna hit the gym. I may come back on a little bit after 2:30ish, maybe. I don't know how I feel. But if not, cheers to everybody. Have a great day. Have a great Tuesday. Important part, don't forget to take time off, do something nice for yourself. You gotta love yourself before you can give it out, my friends. Love yourself. Meditate so you know where you're going, have an idea of what you want, and then go out there and do something nice for somebody. Random acts of kindness truly, truly do save lives. With that being said, thank you guys. I am out of here. Peace.